The new government in Japan has what I call a new Asianist orientation. That means they think that the emphasis of Japanese foreign policy should be on its relationship with its neighbors in Asia, particularly China and Korea, but more broadly in East Asia. Prime Minister Hatoyama talks about taking steps towards the creation of an East Asian community, which he vaguely models on the European Union. They have a different approach to the problems of the past, of history issues, Japan's World War II, aggression in Asia, than the conservative governments that have ruled Japan for a long time. They're more willing to acknowledge Japan's past aggression. They want to remove sort of the burden of the past from their relationships with, particularly with China and Korea. So it's very much a shift in that sense. And I think that they would like to see a little more balance in the emphasis in Japanese policy between the relationship with Asia and the relationship with the United States. This Japanese government did not support, when they were the opposition party, the war in Iraq, and they opposed the dispatch of Japanese troops to Iraq, which the conservative government did in support of the Bush administration. So they're willing to say no on issues of U.S. policy they don't agree with. And that's going to pose a problem sometimes for those Americans who are used to a Japan that at least in public always says yes, even if in private it's a sort of a passive-aggressive partner in that it resists American policy, but it does it behind the scenes. They're going to do it more overtly. The new government in Japan came into power with a pledge, a public pledge that they've made over many years, over a 10-year period that they've been campaigning in Japan to significantly reduce the U.S.-based presence in Okinawa. They won every seat in the parliament in Okinawa. They have popular support in Okinawa. They reflect public opinion. This is a government that's more attuned to public opinion. They came to power in a more vibrant democratic election than we've seen in Japan in a long time. So they're not going to easily roll over on these issues, and that poses a problem for the United States, which has tended to be able to sort of pressure the Japanese in the end to give in on these things. Every one of these issues that we have now emerged since the new government took power in Japan, base issues in Okinawa, what role will Japan play in Afghanistan, problems of issues, for instance, associated with nuclear weapons and nuclear disarmament, any one of those issues alone are easily manageable. You put them all together and you add in the sort of sense of irritation in Washington about the Asian orientation of the new government, the talk of an East Asian community that might not include the United States, and it potentially could become a crisis if it's not well managed.